Sony has officially pulled Spider-Man out of the MCU, and Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios have no insight on the future of Spider-Man and his movies. So if you didn't know, Sony owned the rights to Spider-Man, and them and Marvel, which is owned by Disney, made a deal that let Spider-Man appear in Disney's MCU movies. But now that is up. There's rumors that if this movie, Spider-Man Far From Home, made over $1 billion, Sony would let Spider-Man stay in the MCU under Kevin Feige's control. But now that's not what is happening with the future. What's happened is Disney asked Sony that the future Spider-Man films be a 50-50 co-financing arrangement between the both studios. However, Sony turned down that offer. Sony counter-offered and proposed keeping the current deal in place where Marvel receives about 5% of the total dollar gross, which 5% of $1 billion is still a lot, but when you're making the movie pretty much all on your own, not a lot. And Marvel keeps all the merchandising profits from all Spider-Man products that are sold in stores everywhere. So that was a lot of money on their own, but Disney declined that offer. Now, there are 2 more Spider-Man films in development with Tom Holland and the director of the first 2 Spider-Man movies in the MCU, Jon Watts, but these movies are not going to be under the guidance of Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. So it is likely that we see Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the Venomverse that has been created, which is now going to be called the Spider-Verse probably, but Sony's Spider/Venomverse that they've created, and they've talked about doing Black Cat and Silver Sable movies, who, if you are aware of the comics or are familiar with Spider-Man PS4, you'll be familiar with those characters, and if they could have Spider-Man for those, that would be huge. They could just throw those characters into a Spider-Man movie. So it's going to be really weird to see the direction this goes and how they're going to explain Spider-Man not being in the MCU anymore. So even though Spider-Man in the MCU was the first time that a Sony movie made over $1 billion, Sony wants complete control. They've completely disattached themselves from Disney and Marvel Studios. So let me know what you think of this. Like I said, it's still Tom Holland, so there is that. Jon Watts, same director, so hopefully it goes in a good direction here. But it's going to be really weird to see them without the MCU villains, and all those characters are going to be separate. So this might be a good thing as we get to see more classic Spider-Man stories. But if you're a diehard MCU fan, you're not going to see Spider-Man interact with any of our favorite Avengers anymore.